2, 1.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, August 8th, 2025. Calling to order Community Development. April. What did I say, y'all? We're going to do this again. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. I'm now calling the Community Development Committee in order. Those that are present is yours truly, Tyrone Johnson, Chair, Councilman Tim Andrew, Councilwoman Amanda Cook, and Councilwoman Vicky McKeever. And we'll go ahead and get started with the presentation from 2025-131. Consideration of the 2026 Urgent Repair Program, URP 26, Assistance Policy and Disbursement Policies. And we will ask Nina to come forward, please. Yes, Nina Wilson, our Community Development and Housing Director.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. The City of High Point has been awarded Urgent Repair 26 funds. This is about our 15th year doing this particular program. And this year we have received $165,000, which is $150,000 for programs and $15,000 for administration. And then the city will be providing $10,000 as match. So we'll have a total of $175,000 for the program. And for the policies, each year we do have to submit approved policies, and there's an assistance policy, which this year that is the only thing that is really going to have some changes within it. They did increase the maximum amount of repairs for each unit to $15,000, and the deferred loan will be forgiven at a rate of $5,000 per year until the balance is zero. So those are the only changes that they actually made to the program that affects our assistance policy. And then we are requesting that you will see on page 2 of the assistance policy that the income limit, we have 2024 income limits. The 2025 income limits were just released April the 3rd, but we have not gotten updated limits from North Carolina Housing Finance Agency yet. So we are requesting that we be able just to make an administrative change to update those income limits. Nothing else would be changed within the assistance policy. And for the procurement and disbursement policies, all of the processes, procedures, and requirements, everything's the same for that policy, for those policies. And so we are asking that City Council consider the URP 26 assistance policy and the URP 26 procurement and disbursement policies and authorize the appropriate city official to execute all necessary documents. And this is for the 2025-26 program year.
Great, thank you. Councilman Johnson, question for you. I know you said, I believe you mentioned the word deferment, the $5,000 a year?
Yes, it will be forgiven at $5,000 a year until the balance is zero. We do have the owner sign a promissory note. That is one of the requirements, but we don't actually record any liens against their property, but they just basically execute a contract and sign that promissory note.
And did this change?
No, this is the way that it's
still
been.
the same, okay.
Yes,
All right.
it's still the same.
They just have to
As far as the promissory note, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, they just have to maintain primary residence.
They do, yes, they do. They have to maintain, as long as there's an outstanding balance, they have to maintain that home as their primary residence.
And the most that they could get is $15,000.
$15,000.
All right. All right. Any other questions?
Yes, Councilman Andrew. So 150 grant, 10% overhead. City's putting another 10, so I count maximum 14 and a half folks for the maximum amount. How many individuals have used this in previous years approximately?
Approximately, we have done anywhere between 8 in 12 units. It just kind of depends, because not all units will require the 15,000. What we have put in our application is to complete 11 units. And that just sort of, if you say $15,000 per unit, that would give us the 10 units. And then if we were to have something that, came under the 15,000, we may be able to do an extra unit or two.
In the scenario you described, there'd be some surplus funds. What are those funds used for?
If we don't actually spend the full amount, the full
Correct.
15, they wouldn't be surplus. We would just continue to use those funds on units until they are actually expended. So if we had an HVAC unit and it's only going to cost us $10,000, that's all we attribute to that project, which means that we will be able to put $5,000 toward another project.
Another one.
Yes. And what we do too is we supplement the URP funds. If we have a project that's $20,000, then we can use $15,000 of like the URP funds, and then we have either the general fund match, or we can use the CTP, Construction Training Program funds. We cannot use federal dollars to supplement these projects. We cannot use CDBG or home. It has to be local dollars or those other construction training program dollars that also come from North Carolina Housing Finance.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All right, sounds good. All right, I'd like to call for a vote.
I move that we pass the consideration of the 2026 Urgent Repair Program, Assistance Policy and Procurement Disbursement, and authorize the appropriate city officials to execute all necessary documents, including the administrative change that they can make once the income restriction, the new income limits are shared with the staff.
Great,
I'll second that.
great. Been properly, any opposers? All right, it's been properly moved that we move it forward to the full council, right? Yes, we did, yes.
Well,
Did we not? We didn't vote?
we just said, we just went.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, let's take a vote. By all signs of hands, if aye.
Aye, vote in favor.
Any opposers? All right, it's been properly moved and second, and we're going to move it forward to full council. Thank
Thank you.
you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll move on to the next one, 2025-133, consideration of demolish ordinance at 3213 East Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. And we will call up Ms. Kaylee Parrish, and she's already up there, interim code enforcement manager. Will do the presentation.
Good afternoon. Hope everyone's doing well today. So I am here to present the minimum housing order to demolish case. So what constitutes a repair or demolish case? So the case starts with what we call a preliminary inspection. So the preliminary inspection is when the inspector goes on site, takes a look at the exterior conditions of the property, documenting and supporting our reason for the inspection. If violations are present after we go inside the home and inspect the property, then we will move forward with the issuance of a complaint and notice of hearing and the order to repair or demolish. Due to the violations present at the property, the inspector has determined that the cost to repair, alter, or improve the dwelling exceeds 65% of the value of the dwelling. So the following case, 3213 East Martin Luther King Drive. This case was given to us from the fire department. Vagrants have gotten inside the home and burned the home. After the initial inspection, we issued a complaint and notice of hearing on December 12, 2023. The hearing was held on December 22, 2023. No one appeared for the hearing. Therefore, we moved forward with the order to repair or demolish issued on December 22, 2023, with a compliance due date of January 22, 2024. As of February 25, 2025, no repairs have been completed or permits obtained to repair or demolish the dwelling. This is the site where the dwelling is located at. And this is the condition of the home. Typically, when we go out to homes, we do try and secure even after a fire has happened, but in this instance, due to the excessive amount of damage from the fire, we were not able to do that in this situation. This is the side of the home. This is inside the property. Another picture of the inside of the property. And this is the back of the home. Does anyone have any questions?
Curious, the owner just doesn't want anything to do with it?
So right now, the owner is in a nursing home, and her power of attorney, Mr. Shaw, he has been in contact with us about the property, but right now, he said he's unable to move forward with the demolition of the property, nor has he talked about selling the property, demolishing it, or repairing the property.
Great. Thank you. If anyone is here to speak regarding this item, which I do not see anyone, but for record purposes, there is no one here to speak on behalf of this. But I do have a question or a comment, because I know exactly where this particular home is at, and it's been like that for a while.
Yes, sir.
Because I would peek my head through there as I'm driving, and I would see that, so.
Yes, sir, and with it being located right next to a school, that brings the
Exactly.
safety aspect into it as well, and it's something we want to go ahead and address and hopefully get it situated and have a demolition ordinance approved by council if allowed.
Exactly. Amen. Does anybody else have any questions, comments?
Just for the public, so if this demolition is moved forward, the cost of the demolition will be a lien on the property owner, correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Absolutely. All right. All right, I'd like to call for a vote.
I move that we approve the ordinance to demolish the dwelling at 3213 East Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and authorize the appropriate city officials to execute all necessary documents.
I'll second that.
Been properly moved in second, and then we'll take a vote. All those that are in favor, by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposes? All right, the ayes have it, and we'll move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Anybody has any comments or announcements to make before we dismiss? Great, we are dismissed. Thank you.